Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to call to order the regular board meeting, Tuscaloosa City Schools for November 14th, 2023. Let's please observe a period of silence, and we'll follow that by the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would say, in the Thanksgiving spirit, let's pray for those less needy than us. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, board. Good evening. All right, may I have a motion to adopt the regular board meeting agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That'll be approved. Item number 4, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 17th, 2023 regular board meeting, the notes from the October 23rd, 2023 biannual Tuscaloosa City Board of Education and City of Tuscaloosa working session, the minutes of the October 24th, 2023 called board student hearing, and the minutes of the November 7th, 2023 called board meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Each of those minutes will be approved. Item number 5, we were to receive a presentation from Representative Cynthia Allman, but she is stuck in Montgomery, so item number 5 will not occur tonight, unfortunately. Which brings us to item number 6. We'll now have a presentation of the 2023 Benjamin B. Trago Award for Strategic Leadership in Education. Michael Curran-Hayes, Executive Director, Trago Ed, and Kathy A. Blackburn, Senior Consultant. Dr. Daria.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chair and board members. I'm actually not going to do this presentation. In fact, Dr. Blackburn is going to do it. And as she approaches the podium, I just want to first tell you who Dr. Blackburn is. When you look at a lot of the progress this school system has made, it's been through a lot of precision in planning, and a lot of that work has been supported by our partner with Trago Ed, particularly Dr. Blackburn. Everything from dual enrollment work, from our graduate profile, and then a whole host of other initiatives. Trago Ed has been a really solid partner for us to accelerate our path and our progress. So I'm going to ask Dr. Blackburn to take the podium to provide this incredible recognition. Dr. Blackburn.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back in Tuscaloosa. So I'm really proud to be here today to recognize Tuscaloosa City Schools, and particularly the Department of College and Career Readiness, for the Benjamin B. Trago Award for Strategic Leadership in Education. We give this award once a year to a school district, and so this is very special to us. This award honors our founder, who helped found an industry in teaching problem solving and decision making. Tens of millions of people around the world have successfully used these same tools in corporations, governments, and education. So Dr. Ben Trago was a man who believed in the power of people to accomplish important and exciting things if they work together. He was committed to helping people think more effectively, making the best possible use of the most important technology they'll ever have, that which is resting on their shoulders. And lastly, Dr. Trago believed that if something is important enough, if it's worth doing, then we need to risk not doing it perfectly. So this award honors school districts and their leaders who embody these beliefs and who have demonstrated their commitment to collaborative problem solving and strategic change. So we're so honored to work with TCS, with Dr. Daria, and specifically for this award, Kelly Nordstrom and her team, her college and career readiness team. And they are receiving this award because they have consistently demonstrated a commitment to a vision for its graduates, that each student would successfully complete high school having attained at least one CCRI, having secured that positive plan for their post-secondary life. And this is a challenge that few other districts across the country have been successful addressing. They've consistently demonstrated commitment to the community and all stakeholders to ensure they have a voice. They've demonstrated transparency and trust using systematic thinking processes or approaches. They have shown strong leadership with persistence and dedication to continuous improvement. And last but not least, they've demonstrated the courage to make informed decisions that are the right thing for students and for the schools. So for these reasons, we honor Tuscaloosa City Schools and the College and Career Readiness Department with the Benjamin B. Trigo Award for Strategic Leadership in Education. It's our one national award, and we're so proud to be here. So I'd like to present a trophy to the team, to Dr. Daria, and to our board chair, and get some really good pictures. And then I've got certificates for each person. So maybe I do the certificates first, and then may we bring people together? I've been in every other room in this building, but not this one. The first certificate goes to Kelly Nordstrom, who's provided leadership for this department. And the second recognition is to Andrea Markham, who also has provided leadership, and I've gotten to know her well in several different avenues, and so proud to be a colleague. And the third certificate is Andrea White, and glad to get it. Been working with her for several years. The next recognition is for Carly Wright, and so glad she was able to make it because, And the last but not least, Paige Jaeger, who actually came to Orlando to see me. So this is the trophy that we would like to present. It's really pretty, isn't it? Nice and somebody's trophy.
Where's the check? Here, let's get all board members to stand up. I think we can make it happen, right? Does that work for you, Kathy, with everybody standing?
You gotta hold your plant, oh, you need the trophy.
Let me stand behind Dr. Blackburn, because everybody else is taller than me.
Oh, up front?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we thought we could cheat.
Get your steps in.
Get the steps in.
Can you get that, Dave? Oh, you want us all the way out?
Oh, you know,
Ms. Lee,
come on, little bro.
And Dr. Blackburn, before we let you leave, typically I let the board say something. I think it'd be very appropriate if Dr. Darius says something, because you've been a fixture around TCS this fall, and your presence and your leadership is very, very appreciated.
It's been my pleasure. I really enjoyed working with the district.
And Mr. Wilson, you're exactly right. Dr. Blackburn, we kind of joke, but she's kind of like an honorary TCS member. But really, the work that Trigo has done with us, so much through Dr. Blackburn, has really allowed us to kind of refine our skills and our decision-making. And you see that, and Kelly, I'm going to ask you if you want to just come up and say a few words, but when the recognition they just received, and just for clarity, we have our three career coaches here with us. The work this entire team is doing is, I would best describe it as being relentless in making sure every student is enrolled, enlisted, or employed. When we graduated last year, seniors, we were at 89%, and that's because of a lot of hard work in our high schools with a lot of engine from this team right here. But it is about every child. It's not about strategy to hope we do really well. It's about looking at every child. And when you do this team, through the work with Trigo, there is a spreadsheet that your glasses are not big enough to read because it's just so detailed and there's precision in there to make sure every child is ready upon graduation. So Kelly, if you just want to say a few words as well.
I don't know how I can follow that up. That was perfect. We're super blessed. We've worked with Kathy for multiple initiatives, and we have a wonderful team. We are a wonderful team. They look out for our kids. They take care of our kids. You can't go up to any of them and have them not be able to tell you what is going on with a kid in the high school. They can tell you what they're going to be taking, what they're going to do, and have they earned their CCRI, and are they ready for their next plan. So we're super blessed and going to continue to do good work for Tuscaloosa schools.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. And Dr. Blackburn, we thank you for coming here to present this recognition, and again, thank you. Dr. Blackburn has tried to retire a couple of times, so we keep pulling her back in, but she is absolutely fabulous. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Derry. All right, item number 7, we will now recognize Ms. Andrea Markham as Counselor Advocate of the Year. Because of a lot of the work that we just talked about, Ms. Markham joined our team as part of our Elevate initiative in dual enrollment. And folks, you want to talk about changing lives. You see that data when we talk about our data. But when we talk about every student who wants to get into school through dual enrollment, Ms. Markham is a driving force. She is part of that plan that Dr. Blackburn just talked about. But what we love about Ms. Markham and why she's recognized by this organization is she's relentless. She is in schools, pulling students out of class, getting them registered, getting them enrolled, making sure they're in the right dual enrollment courses. And she is down to every child in the high school. And she is relentless. And she has been such an awesome team member as a teacher, a counselor, and now in this role. And I will tell you, and you see the data that says this individual is changing lives. So Ms. Markham, later, we'll talk later on that. The recognition from the Alabama School Counselor Association, they see you because they see the work that you are doing here. And we wanted to just say congratulations and thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand you one of my books.
I feel like it would be a shame for me to waste this opportunity to just share that in Tuscaloosa City Schools, we are fortunate in that we have a professional school counselor in each of our 21 schools. I am looking forward to the day that we have one professional school counselor for every 250 students, because we know that strong school counseling programs produce strong schools. So if there's something you're looking to do next, please continue supporting the folks that do the work of school counselors, put more people in the building so that we can serve more students more effectively. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrea, I've been married to a school counselor all my life. I know the blood, sweat, and tears, literally the tears and the sweat that comes, that pours, that rains in when you pour out into a child and you get those desired results. And sometimes you don't get those precise results that you need. You don't see them immediately, but the long-term effects carries them a lifetime. So with that being said, thank you for a lifetime of dedication and service to those children, each of you, in your professional roles. It does not go unnoticed. We understand, we hear you, $250 per child. sounds costly, but it's worth the investment. It's definitely worth the investment, and we'll be more than happy to look into it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
When I first came in and I walked over and was saying, good evening, and speaking, and Ms. Markham was sitting there, and don't get me wrong, I know I shook your hand, but I said, oh, I gotta give her a big hug, cause we go way, way back. And then we began to start talking, she started asking me about all of my kids are all gone and away from the house. You have done so much for us in this system, and we really appreciate it. You couldn't be a better person to win this award or be recognized as what you do, because your heart is with helping each and every child in our system, and we greatly appreciate it.
I can't follow up those two gentlemen with what they said, but I just wish selfishly that the city of Tuscaloosa population as a whole had all these little brief snippets and these wonderful nuggets of what the excellence of TCS embodies, and so many just distinguished and learned and amazing people we have in the system. I mean, if we put together a little highlight reel, it would go on for hours. And, you know, we're just blessed to be able to see it. I wish everybody could see what we see, because they would then know how excellent this system is and what progress we're making. So thank you to everyone here. Thank you. Okay. Item number 8 will now receive the Tuscaloosa Sister Cities International and TCS student presentation. Hello, good evening.
Hi, you guys want to come and stand behind me? I want each of them to say a couple words. I know we only have a limited amount of time. I have seen a lot of familiar faces in here. Andrea taught my children. One is now married. We hope we'll get married soon. I'm Lisa Keese. I'm the executive director of the Tuscaloosa Sister Cities International Program. Our partnership with Tuscaloosa City Schools goes back almost 40 years. And I like to say that, you know, when people are recognized for things that they're doing in the community, that they are points of light in our community. And so many points of light in this room tonight. The Tuscaloosa Sister Cities organization, in partnership with Tuscaloosa City Schools, is a major point of light that reaches so many young people and families in this community, gives them the opportunity to travel the world for a very, very reasonable expense, and make life-changing experiences and memories in the process. So the representatives that I have here, that you might recognize Shelley Dorrell. She's a librarian at Bryant. She was one of the teacher chaperones in Schorndorf, Germany this past summer. And we have 4 students of the 16 students that went with us to Germany in July. And then we had a reciprocal visit about 2 or 3 weeks ago of 19 German delegates who were here from October the 13th until October 27th. So they just got back home. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but would like for them to say a little bit about what their experiences were and why this is so important for the city of Tuscaloosa and for Tuscaloosa City School students.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I need to tell you thank you. I've been blessed to go. This is the second time I was able to be a chaperone. I used to live in Germany. I have some connections, so one of the many wonderful reasons I got to travel with the students and with Miss Lisa. I'm also a librarian. Got to represent. And one of the things that, as a librarian, I find very important for my job is I want our students to, as we say, read mirror books and window books, right? Mirror books are books that you see yourself in, you reflect, you learn about yourself. Window books are the books you read where you learn other cultures, other situations, other lifestyles. And I love reading. I will champion it till the day I die. No window book is as good as having the opportunity to actually build a friendship with someone from another culture, see their world, live in their home, travel, and then get to have that person come back here and you get to show them your world and your experiences. As I look at the news today, as I look at the world, I think we all could say we need more harmony, we need more understanding, we need more to be able to look at each other and say, we're different, but I want to know you, and I want to understand you. And it was so wonderful to get to see them experience these things like first plane ride, first time in a large city, Paris, right? First time getting on a train, first time seeing what a subway looks like or a trolley car, all of these things. But beyond that, I know that these window experiences are the things that will prepare them to go wherever their talents and skills and intellect take them. I never want one of my students to say, I really could do this opportunity, but I'm not comfortable with people I don't relate to. I want our kids to relate to anybody, anywhere in the world, and let their skills and talents and gifts take them to around the world and back. And they're just phenomenal. And this program is phenomenal. And I told Dr. Daria earlier, in my opinion, it is literally one of the best things that we have that we can give our students in the city schools, that they get this experience at a cost that you could never do any other way. And it's not just a trip. It's not just going on a little trip. It's getting the relationship with the exchange. And nothing compares to that. Thank you.
Good evening. So I'm Rylan. I go to Northridge, and I'm here to help represent the exchange. So I'm actually going to show off the sweet sweatshirt that our German friend gave us, since they didn't wear it. But that has all our names on the back.
Sweet.
Oh, it's nice.
It was such a great experience. But I just want to talk about how I learned about this. So it was actually through the counselor's office. So I mean, it was really cool that we have a lot of counselors out here, but they really do make an impact in learning about all the programs that are offered here. And fun fact, when I saw like the little flyer for it, it was like 2 or 3 days before it was due. So I was like, oh, this is really cool, and it's like a reasonable price. So I quickly gathered my teacher recommendations and all that, and I submitted it like really close to the deadline. But I don't even know how I convinced my parents in that amount of time. But it was a really unique experience for me to learn how to be responsible and learn how to, I guess, experience new cultures. My parents, when I talked to them about this, they were like, we're not paying for this, you have to figure that out on your own. So I went out and I got a job, and I was able to save up for this trip because it was actually a reasonable price. And there was a scholarship opportunity, and I was able to win that, at least part of it. And that really helped. And today is actually my exchange partner, one of them at least, his birthday. So it was a really unique experience to come out here and I guess represent this, because it really does mean a lot, and it was a really cool opportunity. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Javoris Lake. I also participated in the exchange. And first off, I just want to say thank you to the board for allowing the German students into your 3 high schools. And thank you to Ms. Keys for giving me this opportunity. And first off, my main point of this presentation is that it was more about the trip than the place that I actually went. Because everybody always talks about Paris. I don't know if you guys noticed that Paris is just a big place that everybody's always talking about. But even though we went to Paris, that wasn't the highlight of my trip. The highlight of my trip, I can't describe that, because it was just the overall experience of the entire trip. Going to someone else's school and then being able to understand how they do their school in a different country, and then also seeing their other activities. We didn't just go to school with them, like Ms. Keys mentioned, I believe. We also stayed in their houses, so staying in their houses and then bringing them back to Tuscaloosa, being able to give them that southern hospitality and show them around Tuscaloosa, and not only Tuscaloosa, but Alabama as a whole, was a really great experience. And I also learned a lot about myself during this trip. Like, I'm not afraid of water, but let's just say I'm not the best swimmer, okay? And my exchange partner, his name is Leo, he actually took me to a pretty large lake in Germany called Lake Constance, and we went sailing. But I'm here, and I'm getting on the boat, and I'm thinking, might be a little boring. But when I finally got out there, it was so calm and so peaceful, and I never knew that about myself. I never knew that I would enjoy sailing. Like being on the ocean, I would think seasickness, be worried about drowning and everything. I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about having fun with my partner, and that's what I had. It was relaxing, and I picked up a new hobby now. And another thing I learned about myself is I guess I become more open the more I get exposed to, like, I guess, inconvenient situations, because I became, like, really socially open. I was more introverted at the beginning of the exchange. Like, I saw some of them during the first few meetings, and I didn't really talk to them, but over the exchange, as we grew closer, I began to talk to nearly everyone in the group, and then now I'm keeping contact with them over social media and everything. So, again, I just want to thank Ms. Keys and you all for this opportunity, and have a good day.
Hello everyone, my name is Gracie Cruz Fabian. I am a student at Paul W. Bryant High School. About this exchange, I actually came to know about it before the school announced it. My mother actually works with someone, and they let her know because her child was able to participate in this program not so long ago, and they wanted the same opportunity for me because they know that I love traveling. And my mom quickly told me about it, so when I found out that the school offered it, I was excited, and I got the paper to sign up the very day that it was announced. I got all my recommendations. I did wait to call for my interview because I was a little nervous, and I didn't know how it would go, but apparently I did really good that I was able to attend. And I want to add on to what Javor said. This trip is obviously more than just a friendship in the making. This is a bond that was created between two different countries, between multiple different people. A friendship is just something that you have for a short time, but a bond is something that you will carry for the rest of your life. You will have created many memories with these people, and I obviously did. I became friends with a lot of people in the group that at first, like Javor has stated, I didn't really talk with them the first meeting that I attended, but after I did make connections, I still talk with them. We still hang out, and it's just been an amazing opportunity. And I do want to thank the board for giving us the opportunity, and Ms. Keys here for offering it to all of us and for making it affordable. That's actually a big part of it. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little short, so. Hello, I'm Anushka Natani. I'm a senior at Northridge High School, and I just want to start off by thanking the board, thanking Ms. Keys for coming on this trip with us and planning everything out, and Ms. Deloach, who's not here, and Ms. Doral for coming on this trip with us and kind of acting as our parents, because, I mean, honestly, coming into this experience, it's a little nerve-wracking going to a foreign country by yourself. But I mean, honestly, if I had the time, I would go on and on about this program because, I mean, it sounds cliche, but, like, it's completely changed my life. Like, honestly, diversifying myself into a completely different culture, people, lifestyle, and just kind of being forced out of my comfort zone, I mean, it was amazing. I got to eat amazing food. I got to meet, like, some of my best friends today. Like, I mean, it was amazing. So, I mean, honestly, again, going into this trip, I was very nervous and stuff, but I don't think that it was the culture and the food and all of the sightseeing that we did that made this trip. I think it was the bonds and the relationships that we made with these people. I mean, I'm still in contact with all of my German friends, even today. We constantly talk about going back and them trying to come here because, like, if I could just think back on all the memories that we've had, I mean, I can't even begin to describe it. It was absolutely amazing. And I just kind of want to share awareness on this specific program because, I mean, again, affordable costs, being able to do this with all of these people, I didn't know any of these people before. I knew a couple from school, but now they're some of my closest friends. Just because, you know, going to a foreign country by yourself without your parents kind of teaches you responsibility, and you kind of have to fend for yourself. But, I mean, honestly, it was amazing. And I want more people to be aware of this program. I mean, like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, we need to take advantage of it. So, I mean, I went back to school, and I told every single junior that I saw, you have to sign up for this. I'm not really giving you an option. Like, you have to do this. But, I mean, again, it wouldn't be possible without you guys and Miss Lisa and Miss Deloach and Miss Doral and the rest of the program. So, thank you so much.
Alright, my name is Vladimir Kozlovsky. I am a student from Central High School, which unfortunately I was the only student out of my school to attend the Sister Cities program. Thanks to you all thanks for you all that you allowed me this chance to go to Germany, and that you actually let me to be approved of. I'd also like to thank you all for also approving for this. But basically, with the trip to Germany, I've learned more about the culture and diversity around my friends. But I learned that I gained more friends. Usually at school, I'm not really much of a person to talk to, and I'm very quiet. But now, as going back to what the previous person said, I've learned more about people, in certain cultures. The fact that I'm able to travel by myself, not by myself, travel with a group, knowingly that I used to travel, I do travel, sorry. Basically, I travel, okay, so basically I travel, now that with the group, I travel knowingly that there's new people, and then after that, our first travel was to France. Knowingly that I did learned a small amount of French from my French class, and even so with one person, actually my mom helped me learn to speak French, I was able to get by in small areas, even though I was a little bit beginner. But with that, so Germany, it was a life-changing experience, nearly a life-changing experience. After I got approved, after we got the meetings, after we got the itinerary, we learned more about like the culture, we learned more about the bread, and after so I traveled to meet with someone when I met with someone for the first time. I've been communicating ever since before the trip. And then you showed me around Schorndorf, Stuttgart, and other cities. It was great, really great, because so I'm just like, yeah, but basically, so I've learned more alongside. I got some new friends. I learned some friends, and not only from my school, not only from Northridge. People still remember from Northridge. Also friends from a different school. It was really interesting because there are people that are younger. There are people that are slightly younger than me, and I can show more of my experiences, of what's life at school. And the best part is, like, after you came from Germany, after we came back from Germany, the German exchange students actually come back to Tuscaloosa. That we share more about what life is like in Tuscaloosa. Basically, throughout the residency of the U.S. Basically, we showed from one school to another school, to my school. Since I'm part of the IB program, this actually helps me more okay, but other than that, I should have said I was an IB student, but with that in mind, this has helped me to broaden my views, just like how IB does. But with that, once again, I appreciate it. Thank you all again for approving this trip, and I thank you all for approving me to go.
One of the best things about this program is that it does pull students from Bryant Central and Northridge who otherwise would never have a chance to meet each other, to get to know each other over the course of 6 months or so, and then actually have this fabulous, life-changing experience in another country. Many of them mentioned the reasonable cost. It's $1,500. We are supported by the city of Tuscaloosa, so we are able to subsidize the biggest part of the expense for students in this partnership with the Tuscaloosa City Schools. So we cap the exchanges at $1,500. And then we anticipate interviewing about 30 students, which we will do in December for our upcoming exchange in Narashino, Japan for next summer. So we'll interview 30 students. We select 20 students representing all 3 high schools, and then we'll start the process once again in January, getting them ready and prepared to get ready to go to Japan, behavior, what is expected, what they're going to learn about it. And so it really is such a fabulous way for us to give this opportunity to so many different students from all walks of life that they can take with them for their forever. So thank you again for your support of this great program.
Thank you, Ms. Keys. I'll say I think it may have been the first, but way back in 1989, I went on the trip to Narashino, and I can't believe we're still doing this program. It's amazing, and so I think it's awesome that the system is still doing this. So that's great. Congratulations on your wonderful trip. Thank you.
And we have a new liaison with the city schools, and that's Andrew Maxson, who's our new liaison for the board.
Okay, moving along to item number 9. We now will have a, is he in the building?
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Great
care.
job,
Thank
guys.
you.
Okay, item number 9 is very special to this board, and tonight we are going to give a special thank you to Officer Mike Bankhead. Before we present you with the gift and the certificate, I will say that when all of us decide to serve on the board, we sort of do it with the idea of giving, and I will say that we receive so much more being on this board than we give, and most of it is in the way that we're able to meet wonderful, talented, giving, loving people, and I can't think of a better person to be recognized tonight than you, Officer Bankhead. You are one of the finest men I've ever met, and I love seeing your face every Tuesday night. I know that we're safe. I know that you love us. And so on behalf of the board, we do have a little special something, but thank you for being what you are to us.
Thank you.
So we will present this certificate that just says, this certificate is awarded to Officer Mike Bankhead for services above and beyond the call of duty and for the support he provides to the Tuscaloosa City School System. So I'll come give you that certificate. And now we also have a special gift, but we're going to start down here.
So, there's a lifesaver somewhere. So the presentation has goodies with it so that you can see how this goes. All right. Since you are such a lifesaver, we're giving you a lifesaver to remind you of the many times you have been one to all of us, and we thank you. I love
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Me, I have Smarties to give you wisdom for those split-second decisions. You are an awesome person, and I met you so many times, and also with the Central Games and stuff. We sat and had a wonderful conversation. So those were very split decisions. So I thank you.
Thank you.
So also there are Hershey's Kisses in there to show our love for you. And Starburst, this is Patrick's. Starburst for the burst of energy that you need, because you are everywhere, aren't you? Football games, you can see him at Werner anytime you want too. He's,
Wrecking traffic.
I love it.
Officer Bankhead, also in there is gum to help everyone stick together.
Also, there's Tootsie Rolls, not the dance, but the candy, to help you roll with the punches.
There are some peppermint patties in there, like me, obviously to keep you cool. All right, and you're gonna find in there some dum-dums. Now, unlike me, probably like Mr. Lucas, because you deal with a lot of dum-dums. Who said that? That is so corny. But a personal thanks, and I appreciate you.
That's why I gave it to you.
I appreciate you always asking about my son. You met him in his journey with the school system, and he's taken to you, you've taken to him, And it's always encouraging to know that you actually care about each child, not just my own. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll add, Officer Bankhead, and you all know this already, but when you have conversation with Officer Bankhead, you know genuinely, to what Mr. Simmons just said, he is looking out for every child and every adult in that school. And we talk now how important school safety is and how important it is to have a Tuscaloosa police officer in our schools. But I trust our children being dropped off at school and our adults coming there to serve our students with officers like Officer Bankhead. He is absolutely amazing. And you talk with him and ask him about his role, and you know for sure he is going to protect every individual in that school. And Officer Bankhead, there's a payday in there for you, because we don't really think you're doing it for the money, and that's true. You can hear your passion for taking care of our folks, and we thank you.
So on behalf of the Tuscaloosa City Board, we give you our sincere appreciation. Yes, sir. Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, moving along to item number 10, public comments on non-agenda items, which there is no one signed up for. Item 11 will be the informational reports from the superintendent and his executive staff. 11A1, receive Zello presentation, connect career pathways, and E3. Dr. Pope, nope. Okay, y'all are back. Man, y'all have such a responsibility tonight.
Get it all done while they're here.
Okay, so, first thing we want to do is we want to just talk to you about Zello, which is our new platform that we're using in CCRI, and we want you to watch this video, that this is kind of how we got going with them.
If I may, before we do that video, I want to just share that we landed on Zello as our CCR platform using, guess what? A
Go ahead, process.
Oh, wow.
You're juggling a lot as a student. Between school and the rest of your life, there's so much to think about. And looming large on that list is your future. You know your future is important, but it can also be hard to imagine. That's where Zello can help. Zello is all about your future and can help you create a map to get there. You'll start by thinking about who you are today. What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? What are you good at? Who you are today can give you clues about who you might become. Next, get ready to exploring pathways and updating your plans can keep you motivated, focused, and excited. And completing steps towards those plans can give you a feel-good boost to keep you going. Turns out, thinking about your future can be pretty fun, but you may have moments where it feels overwhelming. You're juggling a lot as a student.
Just go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so, one of the reasons that we did some extensive work to make sure that we got the best platform that was gonna give us the most bang for our buck as it relates to our students and what we were trying to accomplish, which was to give them all of these things that you see up here to help us better enable our kids to be ready when they cross the finish line and go out into the world So there's career exploration, there's college and post-secondary planning, there's parent and educator access, which was huge for us. We wanted our parents to be able to see it. We wanted to be able to sign up on our 4-year planning process. We didn't want there to be any excuse to why our parents didn't know what their kids were choosing and why they were choosing it. There's academic planning. Zello is tied to our power schools and career planning so that kids will go in and make their course selections in Zello, which will manifest itself over in power schools, so it makes the process easier for our counselors, which was one of the main reasons we looked at it as well. We wanted to lighten the load for the people that were doing the work. It's more fundamentally challenging when you're trying to work with 400 kids to get schedules done, but when they can go in and just click a button and it rolls onto the counselor and then rolls onto the parent, that's huge as we move forward. We have the opportunity to portfolio build. Dr. Maxey and I were just having this conversation prior to the board meeting about how we're going to move forward with getting kids to do portfolios. And then the other main thing for us was data analytics. We needed to be able to pull data and say, you've done these 3 assessments and you are interested in this and you have the skill set to do this, and we have these opportunities that we think will match with you. So if we open a new program, we can run a list that says, hey, we got 15 kids at Central High School that have the aptitude and the skill set to go into education and training. And so now we can target those kids as we get ready to move them forward into their next semester and then ultimately out the door.
One of the things that was also really important to us is that we didn't want Zello to just be something that students did while they were in the Tuscaloosa City School system. So everything that they do is completely portable for their lives beyond. So the resume that they build, they take that with them after they graduate. The portfolio that they build, that's theirs, and they can use that to apply for scholarships or to present at a job interview. So it was really important to us that this was not just something that they did while here, but it was really an added value and a resource that they could take with them. So to implement Zello, we are deploying it through our advisory program in all of our middle and high schools, including Stars Academy. All of our students in grades 6 through 12 participate in advisory once or twice per month, and we have mapped out, with the help of the folks in those buildings, what the specific topic is by both grade level and by month, giving them the opportunity to have some of those school-based sessions to take care of the things that's specific to their school. But we want to make sure that every kid, say in the 9th grade, whether they attend Central, Bryant, or Northridge, gets the same access to the same information, the same opportunities, and can complete the same steps in order to prepare them for whatever comes next, be that enrollment, enlistment, or employment. So what you see on the screen, what you saw on the screen is just a copy of our implementation plan. We really did a lot of work on the front end to make Zello plug and play. It's ready to go. It's built from the district level, so all the folks in the building have to do is facilitate the lessons. We give them access to the lesson plans. We prepare all of the materials and templates that feed directly into Google so that the students can customize those and then take them with them. So this is just a copy of the implementation plan. We've designated one person at each building to serve as the advisory lead, and that's the person that we spend quite a bit of time with, teaching them about Zello, and they then take that information and training back to their buildings. And since we launched Zello in September of this year, we want to give you just a quick snapshot of what that robust data reporting looks like. So in terms of student engagement, we've got almost 5,000 students in grades 6 through 12 since September. We're talking 2 months ago. We've had over 14,000 student logins. So that's about 3.5 logins per student, which suggests to me that kids are in Zello outside of the time that they have to be in Zello. That's exciting. In terms of the assessments, like Ms. Nordstrom mentioned, there are 3 quick, simple, easy assessments that students take, and the results of those assessments actually help the platform personalize itself to that child. So if I take assessments, my platform's going to look different than if you took assessments. We've had over 2,000 of the matchmaker assessment completed already, and almost 1,400 of the personality style assessments completed. All those pieces come together to produce options for kids to explore and then decide after they look more into it whether this is a good fit for them or nah, let me look at something different. Saved careers. This is probably the most exciting thing for me. We've got almost 5,000 careers that have been saved by students. And you might find this interesting, Dr. Daria. 4 of our kids saved superintendent as a career, because that's an option for them. Mr. Wilson, you might be interested to know that 111 kids have saved something in the realm of legal services. Mr. Lucas, you've got some future phlebotomists out there, at least 5.
Okay.
At least 5. We've got kids who are interested in social work. We've got one kid who wants to be a perfusionist. Raise your hand if you know what a perfusionist is. That makes sense. I didn't, and I've been doing this for a minute. I had to Google it. A perfusionist is someone who runs the heart and lung machine in an operating room.
Joint bypass.
If you say so. But what was cool to me is that it gets that specific. I've never in my life had a conversation with a kid about what a perfusionist does or that they could be that. Zello is doing that, and it lets them see not only what that job entails, but what preparation is required for a kid who says that's what they want to do. There are lessons in Zello that students are completing. So far, we've had over 2,500 that have been completed or are in progress. And one of the most fantastic things about Zello for our students who plan to enroll is that it integrates with Common App. Anybody know what Common App is? There you go. So if your kid plans to enroll, they can go through Zello and request their teacher recommendations. They can request that their transcript be sent electronically, and with the touch of a button, the school-based personnel can send Lee's transcript to 15 schools as opposed to doing it one by one by one. We've had over 350 college applications completed to date. And y'all, we just launched this in September. So we're super excited about what Zello is, but we're more excited about what it's going to mean, not just for the students of Tuscaloosa City Schools, but for the adults who support them. And that's all we got.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions?
Ms. Markham,
it's
Ms.
pretty
Markham, if
cool.
you could send those poor 111 misguided souls to either me or Mr. Ryan,
I got their names
we
for
can
you.
help with the career counseling.
Maybe encourage them to become perfusionists.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is amazing. This is just incredible stuff that you guys are doing, and I am so thankful as a parent and as a citizen of the city of Tuscaloosa that we're not just saying, hey, pick your E, okay, good luck, kid, but like helping them pick one that actually they can do and showing them their options. And I mean, this is just, I love it. You guys are just doing incredible work, and it's amazing. Thank you.
We can't say enough about the group, because they do an exceptional job in our buildings, one-on-one with our kids, making sure that our kids are making the right choices.
I can tell.
Thanks, ladies.
For you, I have a question. It's not necessarily for you. It's probably either Dr. Pope or, I don't know, cost of the program, the platform?
$39,000 annually.
That's it,
Less than
total.
$5 per student.
Okay.
And it replaces our previous program that did a fraction of what you just heard. So we already had an expense associated with this, and you guys approved this back some time for that amount. But when Andrea said it, she's right. They did a deep analysis of decision to see which one fit most with what we're doing based on our planning for our students and what we needed. I would say yes. I think we've got discretion at this point to purchase and to provide services for students that matter. I mean, this is going to make an enormous difference in the way we do business, from middle school, high school, and to some extent elementary school in the future. So we've got some abilities right now to make that decision, to do things like this. So your point, I absolutely would say yes. We've got the ability. We want to keep that ability. There's momentum here, right? And that's what's happening in our schools to make sure every student is connected to a post-graduation decision, and that they're successful after high school. I know that rambled a little bit, Dr. Thomas Jefferson, but it's exactly what you're asking. I would say these are the things that matter a lot, and we've got right now the funding that we need to be able to support things like this.
I'm looking at Jay, it would be nice to have not a big graph, but a small cheat sheet. Sometimes to have things like this on a cheat sheet that when we're going out and we're speaking, this is something that I can retain, that I can tell an individual why it matters for you to continue or consider what we're asking you to do, because programs like this help your child to narrow down their choices. And then you said something about we're sending out letters. My children are gone, but Leslie is saying that she understands how many letters have to be sent out. So just having a cheat sheet of some of the technologies, because people don't understand we're in a technological world and things are moving a little bit faster. We're not taking a person's job, we're actually improving on the action. So just having, something that if I'm out, I can just briefly rattle off 4 or 5 things of why some of these things matter. And even though somebody may say, you're saying less than $40,000, we should be able to absorb it, we might not can't absorb it. So just having, as we kind of go along, keeping up with things as staff, faculty, I don't know what to call people no more, I'm sorry. Moving in between too many jobs, team, whatever presents to us, just having our own little cheat sheet of things that, somebody may just say, well, y'all can afford $40,000. No, we can't. So that's that. Have nothing else to say to y'all because I'm about to get on my ramble. When one day are we going to fix this? I cannot look up, and I'm working with you right now, so I'm gonna beat the person over here.
We'll work on it, Doc. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. That also takes funding, but we'll work on it.
Okay, because I'm just like, they're showing it, and I get it that we have it, but to look up there to see it, it was very tiny. I'm not 19 anymore. 2020 been gone.
I'd like to hear more about the 1 per 250 number as well at some point. Absolutely. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, item 11.2, we will now receive innovative approaches to literacy grant updates. Dr. Pope or Dr. Maxey? Or no, man.
One point at the other one, and
Pope, are you just chilling tonight? Okay. Good evening, ladies.
good evening.
We have a presentation to show y'all, so.
Another presentation that Dr. KTJ cannot
On
see.
that, you heard me up there on that little bit of screen.
While we're waiting for the presentation to load, I think you've met these 3 individuals before, but they are part of our Innovative Literacy Grant that we received a couple of years ago, and they are here to give just an update on where we are with that grant, and they've made some really exciting progress. So they're going to use their time to walk you through the progress of that grant. Take it away.
I'm Carrie Jones, and this is we're here tonight just to give you that update. So the first thing that we wanted to do is to go ahead and go through each of the goals and give you an update on the grant's goals. So the grant has 2 awards, and so we're going to talk about the first one that's been in play for 2 years now. We just started year 3. And the first goal in that grant is dealing with school literacy teams. So each school, elementary, middle, and high, has a literacy team that consists of their librarian as well as their reading coach and then 2 teachers. And in that team, their task was to develop a literacy plan that tied together reading instruction, which they are tasked with doing a lot of the time, with reading engagement. So they create a plan that has that reading engagement support, because if you're not reading, you're not getting better at reading. So one of the things that they did in that plan is they planned for their goals on both of those fronts, and then they worked together to create things like family literacy nights, pulling in family and community partnerships. They worked together to create goals like drop everything and read, and they implement that at the school level. They have done all different kinds of things to increase that engagement and excitement about reading in their schools. So we check in with that team every quarter and make sure that they're on track with their goal and their implementation plan. We work with SRAB
as a consultant to help us prepare professional development for the teams and work together. So just by the numbers, you have 79 literacy liaisons at all the schools. So far, we have paid close to $90,000 in stipends to support their work because they are going above and beyond their normal duties. And we have 50-plus school-based literacy events that this teams have put on at the schools and that are supported by the grant. And with that work, we have seen them increase library circulation at several schools. For example, University Place had a huge spike that came about from challenging their kids to read 70,000 books this year. And so their library is seeing kids come in and check out books and read, and they're trying to hit 27,000 by December to kind of break it up for the kids. And they'll get to spray Miss Mullins and Mrs. Zell with silly string. And the kids are super excited about it, come up to them every day and talk about, we're going to get you, we're going to get you. So they're excited. And so we see that reading for pleasure increasing, and that only goes to support the reading instruction, reading achievement for the kids.
Goal number 2 focuses on our community partnerships to support early oral language. So far we've been able to establish several community partnerships with organizations such as Tuscaloosa Public Library, Tuscaloosa's One Place, United Way, and Boys and Girls Club. We've developed several literacy kits for health centers and community organizations such as Parents as Teachers, Watley Health Center, and DCH. We've also provided several bookshelves for area salons and barbershops to provide books for children to read as they're waiting to receive their services. We've created and executed several community book clubs through our partnership with Tuscaloosa Magnet, and we've attended several community and school-based literacy events where we've been able to provide resources, additional support, and free books. We have provided over 325 literacy kits to our community partners. We built and distributed 6 bookshelves to community partners, barbershops, and salons, and we've also donated over 400 books to our many libraries within the community. As a result of Goal 2, we've been able to see an increase in the number of partnerships between our community and school system. We've also seen an increase in the community's access to literacy resources and books.
Goal 3 is all about book distribution. The point of this goal is to increase access to high-interest texts for our students, to help create home libraries if they don't already have one, to establish one, or to continue to build those home libraries. One of the points of the goal is to provide at least one free book to every child in the district for every year of the grant. As you can see, we have gone above and beyond that. We've given away over 42,000 books so far and spent over $250,000 to provide those books to students. And the increase, again, is just to increase the access to the books that they want to read. Because like Terry said, you don't get better at reading if you're not reading. And then again, just to increase the motivation for it.
So goal number 4 focuses on library support. So we've been able to provide funding for our libraries to receive achieve exemplary status. We've also been able to provide opportunities for professional development through librarians attending national and state conferences. So far, we have given over $350,000 to libraries for collection development, over $30,000 towards professional development, and we've helped 9 libraries to elevate to exemplary status. So as a result of Goal 4, we've seen an increase in library circulation, we've seen an increase in the diversity of our library collections, and we've also seen an increase in the level of collaboration between our librarians and our teachers.
Can I pause you there for a minute? How many libraries will be at exemplary status as a result of this acceleration? 15. And our goal was to have 15 by what year?
We are now about 5 years into the schedule.
Wow. So, yeah. And I know you guys know that because that was one of our goals as a team early on was let's get our libraries up to where they need to be. This grant has allowed an acceleration of that, and this team here has been a big part of that. So kudos and thank you. Sorry, keep going.
As most of you know, we are working on a literacy bus. We are hoping that it is ready by summer so that we can roll out to our communities. The hope and the goal of this bus is just for us to be able to go into the communities, people who may not otherwise be able to come with us. So we will have Wi-Fi on the bus, we will have books, technology to allow them to come and do almost anything that they need to do. And again, we just want to increase
4 very similar goals to Grant 1. There are some distinct differences in that the interdisciplinary learning comes into play. And so with those literacy teams, they'll add another person to the team that is kind of to pull all the subjects together, arts, science, technology, engineering, all of those things into one, with the literacy at the center and foundation of that. And so they're excited about that piece. And then also we are gonna, the grant talks about providing books to kids in need. Like, so there's a more distinct focus on providing books to kids that are in high poverty situations or don't have access to that high interest text. We hired a 4th team member a month ago or so. We're waiting for her to be replaced at her school so that she can join us, Diana Marchant. So she should be coming in a couple of weeks or so. She's going to take over that interdisciplinary piece. Some of the new projects that we already got running off the ground is providing a bookworm program at Central Elementary School. This will have community members that will come and read to pre-K, kindergarten, and 1st grade classrooms. They'll read the story once a month, and then everybody in the class goes home with a book. So we also got them little like little folders that they can take at home to start their own library at home. We also are going to be working on summer reading bags for all students in 1st and 2nd grade that have a reading remediation plan as the Reading Before 3rd Grade program, the Literacy Act. So all those students will go home for 1 book for each week of the summer with an interactive activity to do at home with their family. And then we're also working to develop classroom libraries for our emergency certified teachers who come into the profession with not having that kind of library background, so that they'll have those books in the classrooms for their students to access as well. And that's what we have for y'all. Any questions?
I mean, this work epitomizes a strategic plan, and y'all are awesome. Great job. I mean, there's not much more to say other than this is amazing. Great work.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay, now Mr. J. Duke has to follow up all those exciting presentation with, we'll now receive the expenditures of the CARES Act update. Mr. Duke.
Mr. Chairman, these are hard acts to follow tonight, so I'm going to do my best. I would like to give you some numbers, though, as we do monthly on the CARES ESSER funds, and this will be through September 30th of 2023. CARES 1 and 2 are completed now. I'll focus on CARES 3 on this first chart. You'll see there it's 46% complete. We have a year to go on it. It'll end September 30th of 2024. The next slide, as opposed to the first slide, just takes all of this in a monetary amount in totality, 1, 2, and 3. There's the total budgeted amount. On the right there in red is what we've spent or encumbered in all 3 of those. That just gives you a glimpse in dollar amounts of all 3 of these funds. The next slide, I wanted to show you briefly in the same format that I give you the general fund management report over the last several years. This is the same format of just the CARES Act funds for this past year ended September 30th. Again, this is CARES 1, 2, and 3, mostly 2 and 3. Put in the same format, revenues there at the top, and then the expenditures. And I'm going to go, Chris, to the next slide, if you will, please. Drill down into the expenditures and just kind of segregate those out. And then, Chris, one more slide. And what I really want to focus on is that instructional services, that instructional support service, the top 2 lines there, the 40.2%, the 40.9%, in an effort to show you the emphasis of where these CARES monies are going, and that's in the classroom. So 81% in the classroom. If you'll skip down to the other expenditures, that's what that is. Think summer learning and any after-school type programs. The way that this is using the state criteria again that we use on our general fund management report, and but just showing CARES. And so anything outside of the ordinary school day is classified as other because the state only funds 7:30 to 3:30 classrooms, and so that we classify things in the other. But again, the other in this situation is summer learning. So if you couple that with the 81%, it's over 90% that are either in classroom or summer learning. And, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Duke this evening?
Thank you as always, Mr. Duke.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, item number 12, introduction of motions, resolutions for a first reading. We'll now receive, discuss the first reading of the 2024 to 2025 city school academic calendar. Dr. Cameron, good evening, sir.
Good evening. As you mentioned, this is the first read of our 24-25 academic calendar. The calendar represents 178 school days and 187 school staff days. So 178 is what we have this year for students. The parents and our staff were surveyed for this, and I just want to bring out a couple things on the calendar. There's a weather day if we need it on February the 17th, and if we need that weather day on February the 17th, we'll make February the 18th a school day. We've got staff planning days in August, October, January, and February, and just some of these dates are subject to change. So if you look at October, so give this October date for an e-learning day for 9th and 11th graders. This is dependent. We're waiting on the State Department to give us some of these days, this date, to make sure the 22nd is correct. It's about the same time we had it last year, but just know it won't change any of the 178 student days or 187 staff days, but we may have to tweak it just when we get information from the State Department. But again, this is a first read.
Any questions for Dr. Cameron on the first reading?
Not at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, item 13, consent agenda items. We have 13A through 13I. Board, may have a motion to approve.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Those will all be approved, which brings us to item 14, the regular agenda. 14A, approve superintendent's recommendation regarding changes in personnel. Dr. Cameron?
All right, I have the superintendent's changes in personnel. I also have a supplemental list. We'll go through each with you, and I'll go a little bit slower because there is a lot on the personnel list tonight. 2 new support personnel. There are 199 23-24 fall semester academic incentives. And we will go to page 6. There are 22 23-24 fall semester fine arts incentives, which carries us to page 7. 7 23-24 national board candidate support. There are 5 23-24 lead teachers, 1 23-24 district lead, and 22 23-24 instructional resource managers. Carries us to page 8. There are 3 23-24 NAESP certified principal mentors, 1 23-24 athletic supplement, 1 23-24 contracted coach, and 117 23-24 fall semester mentor supplements. Which carries us to page 12. You have 12 23-24 fall semester ambassador incentives, which then carries us to the last page, the supplemental list. You have 2 resignations, 2 new support personnel, 3 part-time extended day tutors, 4 23-24 contracted coaches, and 1 23-24 athletic supplement removal.
Okay, board, are there any set-asides for a separate vote? Last call for any set-asides.
I just have a question before we finish.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion, we have a second. Was that Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions or discussion?
Go ahead.
Just one thing, can we get an update on where we are with our national certified teachers?
Sure.
Next week or next meeting?
Sure.
Thank you. I know we have the mentors going in tonight, so.
You want an update on how many we've got in our cohort coming up?
Yes,
Okay.
please, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That reminds me, I just want to know, that was not my question. I do want to know how many emergency certified teachers we have, period. But the second thing is, do all schools get assistant principals?
So
The elementary, I'm thinking about.
not all schools earn assistant principals. You earn, in an elementary school, you earn a 0.5 of an assistant principal when you have 500 student enrollment K through 12. Now, some have title money that they use, and we're using ESSER money to do that as well to pay for elementary principals, elementary assistant principals.
So
Not
when we
all
have
of our current elementary schools have assistant principals.
So when we have a resignation now with an elementary assistant principal, and I get the ERSA money, but otherwise, do we replace them or we don't? Is that on hold?
So that was a discussion today. So
Okay.
that's what we're doing. We're working with the principal at this point to see where we want to go further when this resignation becomes at the end of the first semester.
So is that how we would treat all of them going forward as?
We do have to plan for the exit of ESSER funds. So yes, we'll examine each vacancy at this point to determine what our next step is, and we'll start with this one. I will just plug, though, as we get into the legislative session, one of the budget priorities is to have one assistant principal per every building with 250. And I think collectively, that's something we all should help advocate, because they're essential, we believe, as you all have supported. So certainly something to advocate for as we go into the legislative session.
And to answer your question, I believe we have 121 emergency certified teachers through all of our schools, elementary, middle, and high.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Number one on the supplement, at this time, where would they go?
They're going to be a math coach with the State Department.
To the state, we're being robbed again by the State Department.
They've taken a few from us in the last year or so.
Any other questions or discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Those will be approved. Thank you, Dr. Cameron.
Thank you.
Item 14B, discuss approve the exemplary literacy instructors 2-year pilot project. Dr.
Good
Maxey,
evening.
good evening, sir.
Good evening. I am well aware that I stand between you and the door. The superintendent has unplugged his laptop.
About to get real. It's almost 7:30.
My daughter's cheer practice ends at 8, and if I wish to go home this evening, I will be there in time to pick her up. But I hope you're not tired of winning yet, because we have a project that we're sharing with you this evening. In case you have forgotten, we are a partner site with the National Board in a federal seed grant that they won. So we're one of their partners doing the work with that federal grant they received. As we at the executive level were talking about the impact that the Third Grade Literacy Act is having on us this year, with retention kicking in this year, and the discussion about what exactly we can do to recruit and retain in third grade specifically, where there is now a great deal of pressure and expectation on that group of teachers, not unlike other grade levels, but especially hard on that grade level. We saw an opportunity to intersect these two, this grant that we have, work we've done in the district, and then that need. So what you have in front of you is a proposal that we would offer to every third grade instructional faculty, third grade teachers, and the folks that directly support instruction in third grade to participate in the National Board certification process. This has come up already this evening. As we know, no other professional learning process has a better research evidence base for its positive impact on teaching. The second thing that's true is that in Alabama, if you hold board certification, the state gives you a raise. If you hold board certification in specific certificates and are a classroom teacher and work at a high-need school, they give you a second stipend. Anyone who is a third grade teacher for us and agrees to go through this process and attains the literacy certificate would be eligible for a $10,000 raise per year from the state. We propose to help them pay for the process at a level even higher than we support most of our national board candidates, and to create a cohort specifically around third grade teachers in collaboration with our instructional team, so that this is not new work around what they're doing, but in fact can encourage them to collaborate more closely together in a professional setting. So again, what you see in front of you is this plan for us to not require, but to recruit our current third grade teachers to pursue this process, to honor the ones who already hold board certification and teach at that level. And then if we can recruit, let's go fishing for new teachers who perhaps either would agree to teach third grade, to come to our district, or even to come with board certification. So you see all those details there. And this is we are identifying this as a 2-year pilot because that is the duration of the seed grant that we have funds for. So this is a no additional cost to the district because of that grant. As Dr. Daria mentioned when we were having the discussion with the executive team, we intend to test the theory during that time. If it does not show a significant impact, we've done some good with teachers. If it does show a positive impact, we can come back for a discussion about whether other grade levels or other areas of focus might benefit from this approach.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Maxey. Board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, we have a second. Excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Just one point of discussion before you call for the question. You know, obviously, you know, the literacy starts before we get to the third grade. So whether we can drop back on, you know, the second, first, K, pre-K, how we can support them. So when the children get to the third grade, we're already at a higher level learning and reading. So whatever we can do to advocate that, that'll be fine. Just a point of discussion for later. And in addition to that, how many third grade units do we have system-wide? Probably 21, 23?
No, between 50 and 60. So there are about 42 individuals that would be eligible to participate if they chose to do that. One thing to point out is that the national board requires you to hold a full valid teaching certificate to participate. So a small number of our third grade teachers would not yet be eligible to participate.
Okay. And population shift, we'll just have to worry about that later on if they kind of...
There is language in the plan that accounts for that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I wasn't gonna bring it up earlier, but it's too small for you. See, I guess y'all did notice that it's him with this hat on. So that's part of your side gig.
I don't know if you're familiar with the famous book Bartholomew Cubbins. That's my alter ego. That's one of the other hats I wear. Yes, ma'am.
So we do pay attention to your presentations.
I really appreciate that.
Contrary to what you think we might not do.
I
we
specifically told them, I specifically asked them to change that picture, so.
And I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. All right, we have no unfinished business to attend to. General announcements. Thanksgiving is next week. I hope everybody is safe and has a great holiday. Do we have student hearings on the 28th? Okay, Regions Room on the 28th for student hearings. Any board member have any general announcement?
If y'all can make fine arts night, that would be amazing.
That's Thursday.
Thursday,
At
6:30?
Bryant.
Thursday, 6:30, I think.
All right, everyone, without nothing further, stand adjourned.
Thank you, Gordon.
Summons.